you were saying you would send a program to some viewers. So what in the program that you would email to viewers, what would you, or your clients, what would you put in there?
I would definitely recommend some functional training, which we really haven't touched on, which is very similar to core training, just taking functional movements, you know, picking your son up, picking up a bag of groceries, closing the door, which ironically enough is when most people injure their lower backs or their hips.
Kink in their neck.
A kink in their neck, exactly. It's during these functional type of movements. So I would definitely implore them to actually take that in as part of their program. I was going to say bodybuilders are notorious for working their superficial muscles and not looking at functional training or core training. And even myself doing an overhead barbell press, I actually tore my infraspinatus. And it was a guy like Carm that actually took care of me and did some ART, active release technique. And, well, it hurt, but it worked because I was up and bench pressing within months after probably about 4 to 6 treatments.
Yeah.
If they want functional exercises and what you're talking about, can people email you for those?
They certainly can.
Which ones they should do, shouldn't do?
100%.
Because we could spend a whole hour probably talking about every exercise, right?
Of course.
So.
Yeah.
Bodiesbydesign.ca, email me. I'll actually give you a program which will include functional core training, just the 101 of it all, the warm-up, the cool-down, the cardio, the resistance training.
I want it. I'm excited.
The whole 9 yards.
Yes, actually, Tonya, I've talked to you before. I'm the guy who's going to be 52 in May, and I'm trying to do 52 push-ups in a row
Okay.
by that time. And I'm just wondering if I should increase the poundage of the dumbbell or if I should do a few more push-ups. I got about 3 months till May the 9th, and I want to. I'm around 35 actually right now. I haven't really checked in the last month, but I've noticed quite a difference, and I'm a pretty strong guy overall.
Sounds like it.
I'm a household mover, and I walk everywhere I go.
Well, I should get your number. Good to know in the future, just in case. Let's talk about it. Well, we're going to talk about how to increase your ability to do push-ups. I don't even know how many I could do. I guess I could drop down and test it, but we wouldn't want to see that. How do you train for that? And do you just keep adding more and more every day, or what's the best thing for Mike to do?
Mike, if you do any more push-ups, you're going to turn into Bruce Lee. It's incredible that Mike is able to do all of these push-ups and curls and so on and so forth at, I believe, 52 years of age. I think he needs to change his program. It is time, and you can change your program in many different ways. You can change it by the cadence or the tempo that he's doing his curls. He can change the rest in between his exercise, maybe the repetitions or even the weight. Those are the 4 variables the personal trainers use to change the program. Change, well, it's the essence of getting results. It really is, because the body gets bored, and, well, I don't think Mike will ever get bored with his program.
Doesn't sound like it.
52 years he's been doing it. So, but anyways, a lot of people get bored with the program, and mental boredom just leads to dropout. And well, he can't drop out. He's got a very important event. So.
But what do you do if you're in a situation like Layla, where you've got a critical joint being the knee, and you want to lose weight? I mean, what do you do?
You got to drop the calories. It's all about creating a caloric deficit. And there's a lot of information out there right now that is saying that exercise is not really the key component. You've probably heard of the 60-40 rule or the 70-30 rule, meaning that...
I've heard as high as 90-10.
Yeah, and it really comes down to taking food away, smaller portions, but still stimulating your metabolism with exercise, and also maintaining that lean body mass with strength training. Lean body mass is what's burning the calories. You don't want to lose any of that. Hey, you can lose 5 pounds of water or 5 pounds of muscle very quickly. 5 pounds of fat is going to take a little longer, but when you lose 5 pounds of fat, it's going to make quite the difference in your pants size, your dress size, and so on and so forth.
Perfect. Let's go for it. Midsection, women with the hips and the thighs and the butt. That's it. I know exactly what she's complaining about.
Exactly.
I think every third email, other than the abdominal area, is about that very region.
Spot reduction.
How do we do it?
Well,
working out at home, keep in mind.
And it doesn't matter if you're at home, if you're at the clinic, if you're at the studio, spot reduction doesn't work. I have to ask Dorothy, what is it that she wants to vanish? And
the hips.
The hips, but it's not the hips per se, it's the fat around the hips. And that fat is nothing but stored fuel.
Okay.
And again, we go back to creating that negative caloric balance, either through activity or a deficit of calories from eating, or maybe both if you're really on the program. And that's what she needs to do, because, well, I've been saying this to my clients as of late. If you've got abdominal fat, did you tell your body to put the fat around your abdominals? Probably not. So how can you tell your body to take it off your abdominals? Those are genetic factors. A lot of hard work, but of course it's there for a reason. And you have to remember that that is a genetic factor. And if there's more there, then that just means you have a predisposition to put more of it there. And you just can't tell it to come off. There's a doctor, though, with a vacuum that can take care of it. But hey, this show is not about that. It's about working hard and in dealing with what you got and
just
making the best
rev it up.
100%.
Who wants to talk about water loss and sweating?
Water loss is simply that. It's water loss. And when it goes back in, then, hey, you haven't lost any water.
So don't be fooled on the scale.
Don't be fooled. I see people still going into the sauna. I just met a client today, and he does 1 hour on the treadmill, and he actually puts a garbage bag on. Now, for athletes, maybe
that's a good look.
Yeah, the glad man. But yeah, hopefully he does that in the comfort of his home. But anyways, not in my studio anyway.
Let's talk about what she needs to do to get down to 140. That's a great goal, but what does she need to do in addition to her walking? An hour a day is fabulous for walking, but what else can she do? Well,
let's just talk about the walking. Perhaps she can do some walking on an incline, even if it's outdoors, doing some hills. It almost replicates interval training. Again, you got to change it up. The body's going to get bored, and she'll get bored eventually.
Would picking up the intensity of the walking be enough, or do you think she needs to incorporate resistance training and watching her diet?
Of course, the diet factor, there's no doubt about that. We spoke about this already. You've brought the 90-10 rule, which I didn't even know about. So yeah, she's going to have to watch her diet. I'll give you this example. It's pretty easy to take the equivalent of a banana or 100 calories out of your diet. You can do it like this with a little bit of mental power. Now, in order to burn 100 calories, you're going to have to get on a treadmill and run for 15, 20, maybe even 30 minutes if you're walking. So again, a lot easier to take calories away from your diet than to exercise them off. But if you're smart, you'll have a two-pronged approach and do exercising along with watching your diet.
And emailing you or calling you, whatever.
Bodysbydesign.ca.
Excellent. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Tonya.
Thanks for all your calls this evening and your emails. I'll see you again next week, same time.